Hey everybody, I'm Monty,
It's your boy Ronaldus.
and episode 2 of House of the Dragon, The Rogue Prince. We seen it. Guys, we got a lot to cover, man. We got a lot to cover. We back. Now we on a roll now. We had to make up. We was running late, episode 1, but this is the groove right here. We in a good groove. So let's just start off right now. How did you like this episode, Ronaldus? What would you give it out of 5 reels? Half reels count and 3/4 reels as well.
I'm still at a 4.5. It didn't boost me and it didn't I didn't lose nothing with it. I'm still at the same momentum.
Now I said a 4 for the first episode, but this one I really like this episode. I'm gonna come up with you 4.5 reels. We're gonna get to what I really like. I mean, I just felt it was well done. Some people kind of felt it was a lot of talking in it, but I didn't mind. I feel like some real chess moves are being made now, and that's to me the Game of Thrones franchise, and this one, that's really what it's about, is watching how these people make moves and maneuver. So let's try to do a very quick recap, y'all. I'm still getting used to the names, okay, guys? This is not like season 5 of how Game of Thrones where I know everybody's name. We still getting used to these people. So so episode 2, they jump. It's literally been 6 months since from the first episode. So time has passed since Rhaenyra was, to be put as an heir. And so Lord Corlys is there, and he's in the small chamber, the small council, and they're talking about things that are happening. And there's this new kind of maybe I don't want to say a villain, but there's somebody to be worried about. They're calling him Crab Feeder, Craggus Crab Feeder, and it's kind of a pirate. But they make sure to say that he's not just a pirate, but somebody's backing him that's very powerful.
Yeah.
Somebody to be worried about. And then they're like, should we, respond and all things like that. Now Rhaenyra has been, chosen as an heir, but she's still like kind of just serving water and stuff, and they're kind of
still a cupbearer.
Yeah, she's just a cupbearer right now. And so she tries to give a little help, and they kind of quickly Otto Hightower is in the small council. He kind of brushes her off, Now, let me just stop right there. Hightower is already giving me some Littlefinger vibes. If you remember Littlefinger.
Yeah, see, it's sneaky.
He got a little sneak, and we about to get into that as well. So she, Rhaenyra's like fine and all that. She lets it go. But they still feel like there's something that needs to be done. Now they're also trying to get King Viserys to marry again. Now, Corlys was married to, they call her the queen that never was, is married to Rhaenys. They have a daughter, and this is how these things work back in the day, how they consolidate power. They want him to marry her daughter. Now, their daughter is very, very young. She's like 13, 12, and the king is an older man, but they're like, it's okay, in time, y'all can, and have an heir. It's totally insane to me, but that is how they did things. It's crazy, but that's how it was. And so they're like, this council's trying to push into that to really keep consolidate power. But Rhaenyra still feels like it don't matter. I'm going to be the queen at some point. She's kind of feeling a little pushback, and Rhaenys, who was supposed to be a candidate, and she kind of has a talk with Rhaenyra, and she's like, you don't understand. These men, they check that. They're not going to want you to be queen.
She gave her a reality check.
She really did. She gave her, but Rhaenyra still, I love Rhaenyra. I'm already starting to love her.
Yes.
She's very much headstrong. Now, also though, our boy Daemon is also still making moves. He's going to remarry someone else. And he's also taken one of the dragon eggs, and it was the dragon egg promised for the child that King Viserys lost. He stole an egg. And so Otto Hightower, he's like, we got to go handle this. You know what I'm saying? The king wants to go. They're like, no, don't go. It's probably a trap. Don't do that. We'll handle it. They go handle it. They have a face off, almost got serious. Rhaenyra comes out of nowhere. I love this scene. She comes on the dragon. Let's uncap it real quick.
Yeah, I'm glad you stopped there, because they had some of the best camera work in those scenes, as far as leading up where they got to the beach and how they led up to the castle.
Yeah.
and showing the whole castle.
That
And
was beautiful.
then when it came to like a standstill, like as we about to go head up, the two armies was, they draw swords. Then all of a sudden you see Rhaenyra come from under the clouds on her dragon, and
Yeah.
her dragon is like super massive, way bigger than. I didn't know dude dragon was that little. He got like a little lizard, really, little
You know
red
what?
lizard, a snake. So,
He seemed a little lizardy to me when he on episode one. I was like, maybe I'm not, but yeah, he maybe not fully grown yet. Maybe still
no,
growing up. Yeah.
yeah,
But
but
no, that scene, I love the look of it. The sun on the bridge was kind of like a low winter sun. It was
yeah,
kind of obscured, which of course I knew they knew what they were doing, but it's like Damon and Rhaenyra, the way Damon is not really a good guy, but he seems to still have affection for Rhaenyra.
yeah.
Like she could talk to him in a way that nobody else
Mhm.
truly can.
If there's anybody in the royal family that he loves, he definitely loves her.
Yeah,
Um, And we saw in the first episode, he brought her a Venerean steel necklace and put it
yeah,
around her neck. And, they always, they got their own little language. Not that that's a hidden language, but they always try to talk in the tongue of the Tigerians.
yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
speak.
And she literally says, I mean, this is a very important part because she's like, "What are you doing?" and all this and all that. And she's like, basically, for you to get what you want, you have to kill me. So kill me. I mean, hey, look, little bit, she not for no games, man. She just put it right out there, like, what you won't do then.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
he of course eventually backs down and gives back the egg, but it was, and the thing about it was, I wasn't even watching so much Damon. I was watching Hightower because the way he kind of looks when she walks back, and he kind of looks like I might not be able to really control her. Like
hmm
I can kind of have control of the king and kind of
Yeah.
that's what these little finger types is what they want to do. I
Oh, yeah.
found that a little more poignant as well. But that scene was just outstanding. I loved now also too. Damon he's not married yet to Mysaria, but she was on the scene and he intimated like that she was with child, even though she wasn't.
hmm
Now they have an interesting kind of go back and forth because she's like, basically, you're putting a target on my back now, saying
hmm
that I'm with you. I'm not, I'm not trying to be in all this drama, basically, and she kind of had a little back and forth with him that I thought that was interesting too. That she's kind of being thrust into this now.
She kind of showed me and made me go, huh, about him because this is now three times. You mentioned one of them. The niece checked him and put
Mm-hmm.
him kind of like, show you not as tough as you is. Because she basically was like, it's whatever.
Yeah.
To get this, you got to kill me. So what? You gonna kill me?
Yep.
And he backed down. The jousting, he was supposed to be that big and bad.
Uh-huh.
Dude whooped him. They even showed in this episode too. He said,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
knocked
He
you. Remember,
did.
I knocked you off your horse.
He did. Yeah.
And then the mistress, which is really just a harlot that he's trying to make his wife, his second wife, because he's already been
Mm-hmm.
betrothed to somebody that he does kind of shuns. He don't really have a relationship with her because it wasn't his choice.
Right.
So
Right.
for her just to walk off and just leave him standing there
Mm-hmm.
showed that he really don't get control over her either. He's playing at being powerful and king, but everybody really sees him for what he is. He's really, super weak.
Yeah. He's not, like you said, he lost the Giles. That's a great point. Rhaenyra show ain't scared of him, and then the wife is kind of. It really is giving off. Man, I should have had this from last week. We talked about it, but Daenerys's brother. Oh man, I can't. I'm forgetting his name again. Seems like he thinks he's king, thinks he
Yeah.
wants it, but nobody's really buying it. Also, that's a great point. I can't remember, but the guy that that was in the joust, he's now on the king's guard.
Yeah.
Rhaenyra picked him,
hmm
and Hightower didn't like that either because his family. He's like he doesn't really come from a strong enough family. Blah blah blah. But that's something you got to watch every person, like every character I see. I'm keeping my eye on
He
um,
wanted to pick Alistair, which
somebody. Yeah,
which
uh,
is that's a wealthy family because that's
right.
where in the Game of Thrones that was the wealthy family of the Game of Thrones. Um, wasn't the Alistairs one? Ain't that the queen or her twin brother and the ain't ain't that their family?
I think so. I think you're right about that. Because
Yeah,
he said it and he was like, but he's not, they wanted one and he's like,
yeah.
well, he's not even from his family's not prominent, whatever like that. But she picked him because he's
She
got a
got
yeah.
yeah, she
Good.
not she not into the politics of it yet. She
No.
into but she's showing some great wisdom for 15
Well,
years
because
old.
she was like, these guys haven't even had much fighting
Yeah,
experience. Why
it's
I'm
the
gonna pick,
logic.
she's making logical, which
Yeah, they're trying to politic like which
right,
powerful family can we get in line that we can make allies with if we put this person in this position. But she
right,
like
right,
he gonna be guarding us. The logic is I want somebody that knows some combat, somebody I
right.
can trust.
Now, and so that leads us. So she comes back, she's got the egg and all that, and so seems like her and her dad has been a little chilly, a little frosty, a little bit, but they're trying to
Hmm.
work through it. But then we get to the point where the king talks to the small council and says he has chosen a wife. Now, mind you, we saw in the first episode Alicent, who is the daughter
Hmm.
of Hightower, who he immediately sent. He's like, just go talk to the king, see how he's doing, all that. That was in the first episode, and we see it still happening. So for 6 months, they've been kind of just meeting in secret. So again, they want him to marry Corlys's daughter, Lena, but he picks Alicent to marry, which immediately Corlys jumps up, he's out, he leaves, he's very upset. Rhaenyra is very upset because Alicent, they're close, they're very good
Yeah.
friends. She kind of feels betrayed, and so
Mhm.
now I'm wondering how, because she's been very confident that no matter what, I'm going to be queen. But I wonder how she's feeling about that now, as well. Because I mean, technically, if Alicent marries the king, then she is queen just by marriage
Mhm.
immediately. So there's a lot to unfold with that,
Oh yeah,
which
because
brings us to one of our last scenes. Go ahead.
Rainer told her though in their heated discussion, um, where she says, I'm they bowed the knee to me. I'm gonna be queen. And she's like, yeah, but as soon as your dad remarry and he have a son heir, that's about to be out the window. So
Yeah,
that's in the back of her mind. So if she if he does pick her, which was her friend, um, and have a heir with her, then she's looking like okay. But with at least with the young girl, she knows she got some
right.
time.
That's a good point. That's a great point. I think she was more deaf. I think everybody was kind of like shocked by that because they just figured he'd wait for the young girl to mature, all that. But
Mhm.
he's already, but again, chess pieces.
Yeah.
Hightower was already playing that role, just greasing the skids
Yeah.
and all that. So of course that leads to one of our last scenes to where Corlys goes to Daemon, and now
Hmm.
here come the alliances. And somebody made a great point. They said, if you remember the first episode, when she was pouring the wine for everybody in the council, Corlys put his hand over the wine, like, no, like he's new into this and he don't want to, he's like, I'm not playing no games. I ain't in the club like that. I don't want to be inebriated with you. I'm trying to really advance.
He shows from in every scene. He got this. I'm bigger than this
Yes,
type
yes,
of demeanor. I didn't realize he was Valerian into this
yeah,
episode.
yeah, yeah.
No, Valerian, that's the top of the food chain.
Hey, right, right. Valerius
Then
Steel
his chip on his shoulder, because he's the richest. He's the richest in all the
got the
land.
money.
You got the money, you running the show. And then that chip on the shoulder is he was a brother to the king,
Yeah,
So he felt like and then he thought his end was gonna be he married who he thought was gonna become queen.
right.
He thought
Yeah.
she was so
That's a great point. This is 0 for 2 now.
yeah.
He been trying to set this up now, and he done lost it
Then
again.
the third, he thought he was gonna get his daughter in there.
And right, you know what I'm saying?
So
And again, from the first part of this episode, again, he's very rich. Those are his ships
yeah.
that the crab feeder has been attacking. He's like, listen, y'all got to do something about this. You know what I'm saying? I'm supplying these ships, and he's tearing up my ships. So he meets with Daemon, and they that's a very interesting. Let's talk about that scene as well, because Damon, he's kind of like, okay, we got an aligning interest, but watch yourself. You know what I mean? It
Watch
was
your
kind of
mouth.
like,
That's still my brother.
yeah,
I can talk about him, but yeah.
he was kind of checking Corliss, like, okay, ease off, brother. But Corliss is like, listen, you in this, like, I'm trying to be in this with you, but he still doesn't really, Damon's kind of difficult to figure out because we know what he wants.
Yeah.
And the thing is this, though, he said, I'm gonna butcher it, but he says something like, my brother has never really been good at that. And Corliss said, at what?
Yeah.
And he said, at being king.
Being king, yep.
So he recognizes that Viserys is maybe not really, but I don't know what he's truly willing to do yet. Mm-hmm. But that's going to be interesting to see, because again, Rhaenyra fronting him off. And even now, even when Corliss is like bringing it to him, like, let's go, he's kind of just like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what else will spur him. And then we kind of end the episode with
he said something else too on the bridge that let me know he's ready to go there. Hightower said to him, this is a act of treason. This is like you committing open war against the king. He's like, so be it.
Yeah,
like,
that's true. Yeah. And I see, but I wonder if Daemon, depending on who it is he's talking to, he can be very cold and calculating, but other times he's kind of like, all right. You know what I mean? Like he's very complicated.
You can see the tug of war. He's kind of in the tug of war. He want to go there, but he haven't crossed the line per se really yet. But he pushing the envelope. Yeah. And so we kind of end with the crab feeder, and he's on the beach, and we see there's you see the preview for next week. Looks like something's gonna go down. We don't know to the full extent, but let me ask you this though, man. It's very, very early. Two episodes in. Is there anything that you feel the series so far is kind of lacking? I listened to a podcast today, and they were just like, man, you know what? This is a little different. It's different showrunners, and this so far, again, super early, but they kind of miss the Tyrion Lannister jokiness of it, to where as serious as thing would be, Tyrion would always say something to alleviate the tension. That could very well come. It's early, but that was a good point. I was like, yeah, this is very much stoic. That's all good, drama. That's all drama.
I thought that was pretty true. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. That's all drama. You have your action, but it don't have that those funny moments that I can't really see of the characters that they introduce. I can't see nobody carrying that type of
right. So far, nobody's really that. See, I think. Plus, the thing about Tyrion Lannister was that he just didn't care. He knew he wasn't going to be no king, so he could just joke about everything. That was his way of, just dealing with the world and how he dealt with it.
But he was smarter. He was smarter than everybody, though.
Yeah, he was smart, right? He's always say, "That's what I do. I drink and I know things." And so, but here, everybody's serious because everybody's really already angling. There is no like person so far that we've seen is just like, oh, I'm good. Like everybody is very serious. The Maesters, everybody's into this series, and that's fine. I don't want this to be exact carbon copy of Game of Thrones. They're going to make their own way, but I thought it was interesting point. But I listen. I think by next episode, whoever this villain kind of character, the crab the crab feeder is, who is really behind him, or who is, because I bring this up again. Somebody said no, he's being funded by somebody. This just ain't a guy out here clowning. I think we're going to see a bigger connection for sure with that, and also, man, we still got to keep talking about the king is not well. Like he still got this.
Oh, he got some extra stuff. Now, in the first episode, it was on his back, but now he all down on his hand, and so he must not gonna last. Probably, maybe.
And that's the thing about it. Like I kind of forgotten, because when the wife died, it was this big push. You got to pick an heir, and I was just like, well, he's not an old man having another kid, but there is this health thing that I think they're realizing too. Like if he don't have an heir, that's why he had to put Rhaenyra in, just in case. So now there is kind of a race to either have an heir. Is he going to live long, or is Rhaenyra going to take it in, or Daemon? So we are getting pushed toward this, and the fact that this health thing ain't going away is concerning.
I want to make this point. Damon is that he's that plot twist. He's that you know how the magician do something with his left hand
Yeah,
and make you look over there, but you forgetting about what's
yeah.
over here. Corlys is the real villain. Corlys is to be feared.
I'm telling you, Corlys. Like I said, the first time when I saw him cover his cup, I was like, "See, man,
They got way
guy,
too much power. Him
yeah,
and his wife combined. That's Targaryen and Valerian combined.
it's almost and again, money. They've got money, so what they can supply, others can't supply. And so, yeah, I'm telling you, spurning that marriage that the king did is probably going to be his undoing. I'm sure of it. However way he thinks, even if he's going to marry somebody else, but I really think the ball is now rolling now.
He's going with his heart because old boy set it up. His daughter is shifty enough to slide up in there at the right time, and he's really starting to fall for the young Hightower girl. And so he's going with his heart, but he's not using his brain. Like, how can she better his kingdom by her being queen?
Right.
It's not, you know.
And Ronaldus, if we've learned anything, going by your heart gonna get you got. Okay. Robb Stark, I go back to Robb Stark. The right thing to do was to marry old girl's daughter, you know, and he went with his heart and he married the foreign girl, and that's in these times, man, you go by your heart, some bad things can happen, man. I just tell you that. So, and I obviously Rhaenyra and her are now split. So I don't know, man. It's gonna be very interesting to see because I think now, just for my girl, my homie Rhaenyra, I think she feels more isolated now than anything.
Yeah.
Because she would confide with her, and now she's gonna definitely be with the king. You know, Damon's wilding out. She probably feels very alone. So yeah, I don't know. This is gonna be very interesting to see. But we'll look forward to it, man. You know, any last words?
Yeah, if the king want to last, he better ride with his daughter, cause she, she wise for 15. Like when it came to the Crab King, she was like, "Oh, they send us dragon riders in there. It's over. They spray that beach up so quick, it's done."
You know, right? Like she is. I love her, and again, I'm still worried, man, because I looked at the credits, so I'm very worried because on the credits, she's called young Rhaenyra, which to me means they're gonna age her. I just love this actress so much. I'm like, man, why y'all gonna get us hooked on her and then change actresses? I don't like that, man. I'm not gonna like when they change over whenever that happens.
Yeah.
They're calling her young Rhaenyra. There must be an older Rhaenyra.
Uh-huh.
I love her. She just got it, man. She got the presence.
You said it on the last show. She reminded you a lot of Arya.
Yeah, she got some definitely.
You know, Arya turned to be a for real killer when she got trained.
You know what? To me, and honestly, and she's the best of Arya, and the best parts, you know, of Daenerys, because she does want the throne. Like Arya didn't really care about the throne. You know, Arya's just gonna get you and get you good. But you know, Rhaenyra wants that throne too, and it's kind of a great combination of both. But it's gonna be a lot. It's a very tangled thing if we know anything about this series. So we'll see, man. But we are staying on it for y'all, man. We're gonna come back. We'll be back next week. You know, now we're going back rolling on the schedule. Appreciate my man Ronaldus, guys. You know, of course, We Seen It podcast. Y'all gotta subscribe. This is not on. I keep saying this is not on. This is not on Mighty Sharp Network. You gotta subscribe. You watching this? Make sure you hit subscribe. Don't think you subscribe. Check it and make sure. A lot of people think they've already subscribed. They haven't. But we appreciate the support as well. Appreciate you, bro, coming on. We'll be back next week, guys. All right, be blessed. Stay sharp.
Bless you.